Well, here we go. Down all the stairs to get to the beach. So what happens when you buy an RV and you drive out into the world is it gives you an opportunity to go explore things. And that was one of my primary goals with doing this traveling in the RV, was to get out and explore the world. I was looking for something to go explore. And I found on Google Maps a park on the very far west side of Seattle, technically an area called West Seattle where I'm at, called Lincoln Park. And I thought, wow, that looks really interesting. There were a bunch of trails on there. And I had no idea what to expect, but I figured it would probably be really pretty, and it didn't disappoint. On my way out there, you pass through some fun little neighborhoods, and you go down past one of the ferry terminals called the Fauntleroy ferry. It's really dramatic to see that. It's just dramatic to see those very large ferries. And anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, when you're near water, you see ferries. They're just everywhere up here. They are quintessential to sort of the Pacific Northwest. Looking at the water when I was out on the dock, I was just struck by how clear the water is. The clarity of the water was amazing to me. I couldn't get over that. When I got out to Lincoln Park, there were quite a few places that I could go, but I went to the very end of it and then walked on some pathways to where the beach was. But the beach is actually down really far. And so you get to the edge of this forested area, and there's some benches, and there is just a walkway, switchback, that goes down through the forest, down along this steep embankment, and then you finally come out and you emerge to this beach. And so that was actually quite amazing. It was neat to walk down there, to hike down there. When I went earlier in the day, the tide was out, and it was about noon to 1 that I went there, and I did a bunch of photography. Tons of driftwood, really pretty wood to photograph. I love the textures. How awesome is that? So this is incredibly cool. I'm looking at this piece of driftwood here, and there are these rocks that are embedded in it. It's like the tree grew around them, the tree became driftwood, and now they're just part of the tree and the driftwood. And because the tide was out, there was a lot of exposed beach and rock that turns out to have been really fun to photograph. A lot of coloration in the rocks and in the interesting plants that were there along the beach. What I didn't realize was how far the tide was out at that particular time. So I spent the day there, and I just walked around and photographed and just experienced what it was like down there. Really pretty. And I left, and then I decided to come back later in the day when the light would be more amenable to sort of evening type of sunset lighting, which is always really dramatic. So I came back about 6:30 to 7, and it did not disappoint. But what was particularly interesting is that when I hiked down that same switchback right there, even before you can really see the water, you see bits of it, but you don't see it because the forest is so dense right there. I could hear the fact that the water had changed. You could hear the lapping of water at the shore in a way that you couldn't when I initially went out, when the shoreline was, I don't know, 20, 30 yards out further. So it turns out that when I got down there, I was actually kind of stunned to see how close in the water was now that the tide was in. And it was just stunning down there. It was absolutely beautiful. There was a public walkway along there, and clearly a lot of people know about this. And it was just incredibly beautiful at the sunset time of day. There was a lot of fog and haze in the air, and I'm not sure what that is. In the Northwest, sometimes if there's any kind of forest fires or burning somewhere, it will tend to put a lot of particulate in the air and make for these very dramatic sunsets. And it was really beautiful. So I just spent the time down there exploring and walking along this stretch of Lincoln Park down along the beach. Again, not having any expectation of what I was going to find, but it turned out to be just another beautiful part of the Pacific Northwest. And so I hope you enjoy this video footage of me, getting out of my RV and exploring the world. So thanks for watching.